Hi, I'm Karen Newman, and welcome to the 7th annual Battaglia Bocce Invitational. I'm here at the Palazzo de Bocce in Orion Township, Michigan, which is just 35 miles north of Detroit. And with me is Brian Battaglia, son of its founder, and resident expert of this internationally renowned game. Brian is here to provide us with some insight, some understanding, and some commentary into this exciting event. Brian?
Thanks, Karen. At today's PBO Tour event, you're going to see something so exciting, so international, and so much fun for people of all ages. I guarantee you, after watching these professional bocce players, you'll want to go out, get your own set of bocces, and get into the game.
We're here in this spectacular facility, and with us are bocce teams from all over the world. They've come here to vie for prize money, but more importantly, for the honor and the bragging rights of being champion in one of the world's biggest sports, and second most popular just to soccer. There are 7 different countries represented in this PBO Tour event, and of course there's the USA, there's Canada, Italy. Who are some of the others?
We have a gentleman here from Switzerland. We also have competitors from Uruguay, Argentina, and Brazil.
That's fierce competition.
It is. Some of the best players in the world.
As a player then, Brian, how would they prepare for a tournament like this?
Well, you know, some have some pretty picky things, the color of their underwear, their length of their shirt sleeves.
Too much information.
Yeah. But definitely, you know, there's a lot of practice that goes into it. People want to, definitely for a competition of this size, they're going to put in a couple more hours of practice on the courts. And a lot of them will fly in early just to get a sense of the courts here, because each court is a little bit different.
To get familiar.
Exactly.
All of the other sports have their own governing bodies. So you've got, you know, the NHL, the NFL, the PGA, the NBA.
Sure.
Will you please tell us a little bit about the PBO?
The PBO, or the Professional Bocce Organization, is set about to kind of bridge some of the regionalism of bocce. Right now there's a lot of different governing bodies throughout the world and even throughout the United States. So the PBO is meant to consolidate all those rules, make one body that doesn't limit players to be living in a certain region or things like that. Just the best players make the best teams for the best competitions, and as an added bonus, they're going to play for the best prize money that we can put together.
Do you think that it also, for the fans and for the new fans, makes it a little easier to understand if there is specific, similar rules happening on each level professionally in each tournament?
Definitely. I think that's one of the drawbacks that bocce has right now as to why it's not seen as a big-time sport. But as you can see from the competition that we've had here this weekend so far, you know, these are big-time athletes with big-time talents, and it's nice to have something where we can highlight that, and we can take the best guy from Switzerland and the best guy from Italy, put them together and make just an incredible team. Even
on a professional level, you've got all ages. You've got teams where, well, for example, on Palazzo de Bocce's team, they have a 15-year-old playing alongside a world champion, alongside an older gentleman, you know, from another country. I mean, it's just amazing, the mix of ages.
It is amazing, and you know, he's a pretty good for 15 years old. He's only been playing for about 3 years. He's already participated in a national championship and has been really, really good. And that's one of the nice things about bocce. It's one of those things that anybody can play. You know, I've seen grandmas in wheelchairs playing, and I've seen, you know, 4-year-old kids playing, and it's something that everybody can play. It's easy to get started. Obviously, to become as good as these players, it takes a little bit more than just going out on a Sunday and playing in the backyard.
Sure,
but
I would think.
It's definitely a sport that's accessible to a lot of people and a lot of different abilities.
For all of you March Madness fanatics, I'm sure this looks a little bit like the road to the Final Four. So, Brian, I'm wondering, is it pretty much the same thing here at the Battaglia Bocce Invitational?
Well, Karen, actually it's a little bit different. It's more of like the World Cup of Soccer or divisional play in the Olympics. We started out with 32 teams, and they played in divisions of 4 teams each. The teams would play against each other, and at the end, the top 2 teams from each division will advance to the next round. In the second round, it's the same format where it's a round robin. They'll play against 3 other teams in their division. Again, the top 2 teams will come out, and they will advance to the semifinal round tomorrow. At the semifinals round, it becomes a format like the March Madness, where you win, you keep in the tournament. If you lose, you'll have to watch the action from the sidelines.
You know, the game of bocce is not as simple as it may first appear. Is that right, Brian?
That's true.
There are
That's
some
true.
strategies involved here.
Definitely. The game itself is quite simple to learn how to play. I mean, one afternoon or a couple hours, you're accomplished.
I could learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But the actual art of it and to get to the professional level, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of gameplay, a lot of situational things that will come up during a game.
Give me an example.
Well, there's a lot of strategies such as where to stand on the court to get the best outcome of the shot. Whether you need to try to knock a ball out of the way or if you want to try to point, and there's a lot of strategies as to where to point and all kinds of things that come into play. Done a lot in the game itself, and it's something that you can only learn by watching the game, playing it, and in competition you learn stuff really quickly. So these guys are pretty masters of it, and that's why they're professionals.
Who do you think's the best here at that kind of a strategy game?
Probably one of the best is Dante D'Alessandro. He's from Italy. He's a fabulous technician. He knows what to do in just about every shot, and that's why he's so good, and he's one of the guys to watch in this tournament.
Really?
Definitely.
It's not fair, though. He's been playing since he was 2.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Brian, as the teams advance from round to round, we're starting to see a little higher level of emotion
Definitely.
involved in these matches.
Absolutely.
And obviously competition, but also emotion.
Sure. I mean, with each passing round, each moment, each game that we get to, it becomes worth more and more and more. I mean, there's the prize, the monetary prize at the end that they're all going for.
And pride.
And pride.
Pride. Definitely
pride. And it's bragging rights, but let's be honest, they like the money.
So it's a little bit of a head game too, just like any other sport. So as the emotion rises, though, doesn't that, I would think that might get in the way of their strategy.
And a lot of people employ that strategy. You try to get your opponent a little bit off guard. They get irritated about something, and there's those guys that can't really shake it off, and it plays to your advantage psychologically, and it's definitely a huge part of this game.
There's a lot of teams here. Who are the 3 to watch?
Probably the main 3 teams to watch are Monastir of Treviso. It's David Bianchi. He is the world champion from 2005 when they had the singles. He's from Switzerland. Excellent player.
He's amazing.
Yes, they're definitely a team to watch. There's also DiCarlo Arminetti. That's the team from Brazil, made up of Fabio Finn and Andres Bacchus. They're very good. Excellent technicians, really good at the sport. And also Palazzo de Bocce #1 with his Jose Boto and Dante D'Alessandro, who's one of the greatest players in the world from Italy.
Can I tell you, they're my favorite?
I kind of like them
I'm not
too.
just saying that. I honestly, I love watching Jose play.
But he's very good to watch. Dante D'Alessandro is like poetry in motion. He's so good. It's flawless. And they're really a good team to watch. Jose is a young up-and-comer. I mean, he's been around for a while, but he's got a lot of time left, and I'm sure that
he plays like he's been playing for forever.
He does. He's very smooth, very nice to watch.
A real gentleman,
yes,
too.
They're both world-class guys.
Yeah.
Here we are at the Battaglia Bocce Invitational, and we start out with 32 teams. We're down to 8. Lots of excitement, lots of drama. Brian,
yes.
We need you to tell us where we sit. How did we get to the final 8 here?
Well, the first 2 rounds, Karen, went pretty much the way we expected. The better teams seemed to come out of both rounds. Not a big shock that the big 3 teams, Monastir of Treviso, DiCarlo Arminetti, and Palazzo de Bocce 1, sailed easily through the first 2 rounds. Probably the biggest upset that we saw was in the second round. Palazzo de Bocce 2 had been playing excellent bocce all day. They'd been destroying everyone they faced. They got up against a really good DiCarlo Arminetti team, and as luck would have it, or through some good skill, they were up 10-4 on them in the play. It looked like they were going to cruise past them easily, and then the wheels fell off. They ended up losing that game 15-13. And after that, the Palazzo de Bocce 2 was just spent emotionally and physically. They couldn't recover. They lost the last game of the match, and then they were out.
Well, Brian, that's quite an upset.
It is. It's
How
surprising.
does that happen to a team like that is so promising?
It's it's an interesting thing with bocce. You can be up and the momentum shifts on you, and it's just like nothing goes your way. Everything happens, falls apart, and it's really tough to recover from that. And after losing such a close match like that, it's really hard to get yourself back mentally and get ready for the next challenge.
Sure.
So they should have been playing today. They're not. They're sitting on the sidelines with the other ones. But there's some good matchups set for today. DiCarlo Arminetti is going to be facing off against Palazzo de Bocce 1 in the semifinals if they can advance to the quarterfinals, which they're expected to do. Monastir of Treviso looks like they have a pretty easy road to the finals, but they do face Palazzo de Bocce 3, which they faced in an earlier preliminary round, and Palazzo de Bocce 3 defeated everybody they faced except for Monastero of Treviso.
That should be an emotional match.
They lost it in a pretty close match too, so it'd be interesting to see. I think Palazzo de Bocce 3 might be hungry for a rematch.
Yeah, that's one to watch.
Definitely.
Mi fate lavorare adesso. Una voce tappa. Se lo faccio bello me lo piango. Enrico, dobbiamo tirare perché qui girano le voci. Tu fai il tuo tiro. E uno? Sì, per te uno. Bocce. Basta, vai. Bravo. Tutto buono, bersaglio. Allora, di quant'è la sua adesso? Tira, dai. Secondo? Un attimo. Vai. Girata la sua così. 3 punti. È proprio girata la sua così. Girovano a 3-1.
Rainbow Creek number 12 from Toronto, Canada. Michael and Adrian, you guys had an excellent tournament. You made it through the first 2 preliminary rounds and made it today to the quarterfinal match. You went up against a pretty tough team there. How do you feel you played throughout the tournament?
We struggled a little bit at the beginning, and we struggled basically all day. And last night we found the light, and we just started hitting and playing our game, the game that we're really capable of playing. And everything came together last night, and we connected. We played really well.
Sure.
You know, let me ask you, Adriana, you know, I saw a moment here today during your match where you got a little distracted. There was some conversations going on at the end of the court here, outside of the court, and it was loud. A lot of Italian was being, shouted. I saw a look from you. You shot a look at these guys like, could you just please give me a moment's quiet here? I've got a big shot to make. I saw the look. It was distracting. Did it affect you, do you think?
Yes, that shot there was a crucial shot in the game. It would have put us back in the game. Unfortunately, the sport of bocce, that's what you get. You get a lot of talking, you get a lot of spectators. I'm unfortunately the type of player who gets a little distracted at times, and it affects me. So it happens to everybody, I guess, and that was a crucial ball. I had to hit it. There was a little bit of pressure.
Well, you know, Michael, as his teammate, though, you saw that happen. You were very aware. You guys are completely in sync at this point. You see him get pulled away. His focus is pulled away. What do you do as his partner at that moment?
Every partner knows their other partner's character, and in important games like this, you obviously know that Adrian gets a little bit distracted. I do not. At that point, I don't want to add on to his stress or frustration. You know, so you just hope for the best. And plus, it's really not something to do stopping a player. I mean, I'm not his father. Mm-hmm. I'm his partner. Mm-hmm. You know, you've got to hope that you can trust your partner to do the best that he can. So if something like that happens, you just have to buckle down, deal with it, you know, and not add on to his tension.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it happened like that. I mean, I know me and Adrian have been competing for 2 years now, and he doesn't have that much experience in, let's say, world-class events. Mm-hmm. You know, so
tournament level play is definitely different.
You know, I've been around personally and seen it, so that's the bearing that I have with him, that I want him to learn, and you know, the best way to learn is to learn on your own. You know, a teammate can consult with you and you know, do the best to guide you through things. The rest has got to come from you, and that's how, I guess, over a course of time, a team unites into a stronger force or a stronger team. You know, but I mean, we did great. So happy with the outcome.
Happy with the results.
We've learned, and you know, once again, growing as a team. You just hope for the best in later tournaments.
Well, and Brian, you couldn't have found a better team to join you here for this tournament. You must be really pleased with their level of play and also the way they handle themselves with grace and with class in this sport.
Yeah, they definitely did an excellent job. Good team, good to have them here representing their country and their city of Toronto.
Great city, by the way.
Excellent. Hey, just a few moments ago, what everyone would consider the favorites of the tournament, the Italian and Swiss team, defeated in a very close match there. What do you have to say about that and thoughts about that?
It's a major upset. I mean, we're dealing with world-class players here, but you know, the ball's around. That's what we always say. The ball's around, and you never know what can happen. I mean, a team starts playing well, the ball starts turning your way. It happens. And unfortunately, it happened. It happened today.
There.
You know, I mean, you can say maybe 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Are you surprised, Adriana?
Yes, I'm very surprised. You know, like, you've got the Brazilians here, you've got the 2 good Italian teams here. Dante, a world-class player, you know, world champion. You know, you don't get better than this. And you know, hats off to the team that won, because they deserved it.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your time and your comments. We appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Good luck.
Let's get back and watch the semifinals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with David Bianchi and Pasquale Del Tirio from Monstiera of Treviso. They were the definite favorites in this tournament today. They were eliminated in the last round quarterfinals in a surprising upset. I'd like to talk a little about the tournament today. How did you feel the tournament went as a whole for you?
Said that their tournament went really well. It says they met a local team that was played well, and that in this kind of play you also need luck on your side, and it didn't actually favor them in the game, and the game ended up 15-14 for the opposing team.
Sure. David, you were here a couple years ago for the World Championships, a very impressive victory right there on court 5. It was a pleasure to see you back here. How long have you played with Pasquale? Have you guys been teammates before?
Allora, con Pasquale è la prima gara che facciamo assieme.
He's been playing with Pasquale. It's his first time he's playing with Pasquale. He says they have a very good relationship. He says, and they came here to play in this tournament. He says they actually came here because of the friendship that they have, and not because they've played prior together. He says in the Bocce, he says you need to have that kind of relationship. He says, and they have more or less the same roles, and they were one of the favorites, but it didn't turn out in the exact way.
Dove non c'è un vincitore di partenza, il vincitore lo si definisce proprio al fischio finale.
So, we're starting the PBO tour here in the United States. I know you have some more professional type organizations in Italy. How do you feel they compare, and how do you think that this is going to lead to Bocce in the world?
It's very important that the International Federation and wherever they play Bocce, that they're on the same playing ground so we can grow the sport throughout the world. The Bocce world is lucky that they found a person like Mr. Battaglia that has come out and is giving to the sport. He says everything from his heart, and he's not there to make any profit for his personal being, but he's there for the sport.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
The presentation of the awards is about to begin, so let's go to Court 5 and join John Bukovitz and Tony Battaglia as they do the honors.
We're here with the second place finishers, Montreal RDP, Guido Grasso and Frank Di Pietro. Played an excellent tournament today. They only lost one game. Unfortunately, it was the final one. How'd you enjoy the tournament today?
Very well, and I'm very happy for everything, for the organization, and also for my friends that participated. And we do our best. Finally, like you said before, win 7 games. We lost the one very important, but I was happy just the same. Me and my friend.
Very good. And now you've been friends a long time, but how many times have you played together before?
So we played together, but not as into tournaments. We just played, like friendly games or socially. But we know us for 40 years. We know what he can do, what I can do. He knows. So this way we said, okay, let's try one together, and we tried.
Oh.
And we were more happy if we were in first place, but we tried our best.
Well, you guys did a very nice job. Excellent play. It was fun to watch you guys. You battled back there, and I thought you were going to turn it around on them. So good luck, and have a good trip home. And thank you very much for being part of it this year.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're here with the 2007 Battaglia Bocce Invitational winners, Andre and Fabio of Team DiCarlo Armanetti. Gentlemen, nice tournament today. You guys played very, very well this tournament. You had some challenging matches. There were a few matches that you came back from. How did you guys turn it around and rally to come back in those matches that you were behind?
Concentration is what takes over to be a good player, and that way that you can change the tournament to their favor.
What do you think was the most important moment of the tournament for you?
It was the game against Italy where they shipped Polino out, and that precisely instant moment is when they changed the whole game, and that's when they felt that they had the chance to win the tournament.
Who won this tournament last year?
That last year was the 3 players. It was him, Jose, and George.
It was a good win for you guys. We appreciate you coming. You guys were awesome competitors and really added a lot to the game. It was fun to watch you, and thank you very much for your participation.
He would like to thank Battaglia and all the audience that came to see the show.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Karen, it was a fantastic day of bocce, wasn't it?
It really was, Brian.
We had some exciting upsets. The Italians getting knocked out there in the quarterfinals. Who would have thought that would happen? And then
I know they didn't.
No, definitely not. Pretty much everyone thought they were going straight to the finals. We had that exciting match between Palazzo de Bocce 2 and the Brazilians who eventually won it. Just a fantastic thing to see. The Montreal RDP team played very, very well. They only lost the final match. They got the shots when they had to. They even started a comeback there in that last game, and I thought they might pull it out. It looked like momentum was shifting their way.
It really did. It got very exciting, very emotional there.
Yeah, the DiCarlo Arminetti had a fantastic tournament. They played very, very well. One of the things that I thought was best about them is that they were down. In 4 or 5 games I saw, they were actually down at several times by 6, 7 points, and they came back and they won them. And it was tremendous to see that they could dig deep, and especially in the semifinals, they were down and out. The Palazzo had the winning point there on the court. Everything looked lost, and they hit the Polino out and just turned the entire tournament around. You knew from that point on that they were probably going to win the tournament. They had sealed it, and they were riding such a high wave that there was nothing that was going to stop them. Overall, I think the tournament turned out fantastic. The fans had a blast. We saw some fierce competition. It was an excellent day.
And unusual shots, unusual moments in the game that you normally don't see. And here we got our fill of them in this one tournament.
There's some fantastic shots, and you can tell that these players have been playing a long time. They're some of the best in the world, and it's an honor and a privilege for us to be able to sit here and actually see this happening.
I agree.